Good day. For today, I'm going to tackle about Manuel Rojas' contribution on agrarian reforms 1946. He proposed amendment to the tenancy law. The following amendment to the provisions of Commonwealth Act No. 4054, commonly known as the Philippine Rice Share Tenancy Act. Number 1. In the absence of a written contract, a tenant to receive 70% of net produce of the land and the landowner 30% for first-class land. Number 2. In case of the landowner supplies the work animals and farm implements, and the landowner bears all the expenses of planting and cultivation, the landowner shall receive 70% and the tenant 30% of the crop. Number 3. In case the land is planted to a second crop of rice or to other auxiliary crops, the tenant shall receive 80% and the landowner 20% of the net produce, provided all expenses of production are borne by the tenant. Number 4. In case a written contract is executed, landowner and tenant, it is to be declared against public policy and prohibited for the tenant to agree to receive less than 55% of the net crop. If the tenant supplies the work to animals and the farm implements and is to bear 50% of the expenses of planting and cultivation. Number 5. In case of a contract for a fixed rental of the land, it is to be declared contrary to public policy and prohibited to stipulate a rental higher than 25% of the estimated normal harvest. Number 6. The area to be set aside for the tenant for his house, garden, and the raising of poultry and livestock should be increased from 500 square meters to not less than 600 square meters.
Good day, everyone. So for now, let's talk about our late President Manuel A. Rojas and his contributions to agrarian reform. So, Manuel Acosta Rojas is the 5th President of the Philippines who served from 1946 until his death in 1948. He briefly served as the 3rd and last President of the Commonwealth of the Philippines from May 28, 1946 to July 4, 1946, and became the first President of the independent Third Philippine Republic after the United States ceded its sovereignty over the Philippines. So, our late President Manuel A. Rojas was born on January 1, 1892 in Cape City, and he was a posthumous child as his father died after being mortally wounded by the Spanish Guardia Civil the year before. Rojas received his early education in the public schools of Capiz and attended St. Joseph's College in Hong Kong at the age of 12. But due to homesickness, he went back to Capiz. He eventually transferred to Manila High School, graduating with honors in 1909. Rojas began his law studies at the private law school established by George A. Malcolm, the first dean of University of the Philippines College of Law. On his second year, he enrolled at the University of the Philippines, where he was elected president of both his class and student council. In 1913, Rojas obtained his law degree, graduated class valedictorian, and subsequently topped the bar examination with a grade of 92% on the same year. He served as Secretary Judge Cayetano Arellano of the Supreme Court.
Good day. My name is Jefferjan Echokamara and this is my topic. The National Development Company's National Land Settlement Administration. Rice and Corn Production Administration and Machinery and Equipment Department are all dissolved. Personal records, properties, equipment, assets, rights, choices, and actions, obligation, liabilities, and contracts are transferred to LASEDECO. Land set aside for the National Lands Settlement Administration and National Development Companies Rice and Corn Productions Administration will be ceded to Lasidico if any provision of this order is found to be invalid. The remaining provisions are unaffected. This executive order will go into effect on October 23, 1995. That's all.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Judin Turaya, and I am also the representative of Group 4. President Elpidio R. Quirino, 1948 and 1953 enacted the following laws. So, replace the National Land Settlement Administrations with Land Settlement Development Corporation, which takes over the responsibilities of the agricultural machinery. So, all of surveys portion of the public agricultural lands herefore transferred or reserved for the use and operation of the National Land Settlement Administration and Rice and Corn Production Administration of the National Development Company. This act establishes the Land Settlement and Development Corporation. As an entity, the following powers, duties, and functions will be assigned to the corporation to make agricultural and recreation settlement, and the cultivation is here to encourage migration to sparsely populated areas and to facilitate the integration of people from various parts of the Philippines. The corporation will have the following powers: I to establish and operate credits, agencies, electric light and water plants, water supplies and irrigation system, cooperatives to buy and sell commodities, and other services or convenience for the settlers will be in.
The following are the General Manager's powers and duties, subject to approval by the President of the Philippines, to direct and manage the corporation affairs and business on behalf of the Board of Directors, while remaining under its control and supervision. The Republic of the Philippines shall not be liable for any debt, liability, obligation, or damage that corporation may contract, incur, or cause. The LADESCO will be managed by a board of directors made up of a chairman and 6 other members.
The, the Republic of the Philippines shall not be liable for any debts, liability, obligation, or damage that the corporation may contract. Sa sinasabi dito, ang bansa daw natin ay dapat walang utang or obligasyon sa anumang bagay sa corporation upang hindi magkaroon ng kontrata, incur or cause, LADESCO. So ano nga ba itong LADESCO? Ang LADESCO ay isang land settlement and development of corporation. So ito ay isang batas na pinapatupad na para ang ating bansa ay magkaroon ng kaunlaran o magkaroon ng sapat na kita or supply ng mga pangangailangan katulad ng pagkain. At will be managed by a board of directors comprised of chairman and 6 members. Powers and duties subject to approval by the President of the Philippines. So, kinakailangan ba ito mahawak ng gobernador or mga chairman upang maaprubahan ng presidente upang magkakaroon ng batas or law para sa Lasidico. Kailangan ito maaprubahan ng presidente natin dahil upang maging totoong batas. Yun lang po. By the way, my name is Idilo Patwal. This is my discussion.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is John Leday Piawan and I am in a group 4 presenter. Today I'm discuss all about Ramon Magsaysay. So Ramon Magsaysay was the 7th president of the Philippines. Serving from 1907 until 1957, he is the first president of the landless lower middle class. His popularity stemmed from his reputation as a clean, incorruptible, and reform-minded administrator. Magsaysay linked civic relocation efforts with his military operations as part of his larger strategy to fight the Haks. To persuade active Haks to lay down their arms if they see the government progressing toward land reform and private land ownership. Agrarian policies. It is hard to imagine how settlement of public lands could be included under the category of agrarian reform. But here are some laws that Ramon Magsaysay made during his time during 1953 until 1957. First is Republic Act number 1160 of 1954, which abolished the Lasidico and established the National Resettlement and Rehabilitation Administration or NARA to resettle residents and landless farmers. It was particularly aimed at rebel returns providing home lots and farmlands in Palawan and Mindanao. The second one is Republic Act number 1199, Agricultural Tenancy Act of 1954, which governed the relationship between landowners and tenant farmers by organizing share tenancy and leasehold system. It also created the Court of Agrarian Relations. So the third is Republic Act number 1400, Land Reform Act 1955, which created the Land Tenure Administrations or LTA that was responsible for the acquisition and distribution of large tenanted rice and corn lands over 200 hectares for individuals and 600 hectares for cooperations. So the last one was the Republic Act number 821, Creation of Agricultural Credit Cooperative Financing Administration. It is provided loans to small farmers and shared tenants with interest rates of as low as 6 to 8%. So that would be all my part and thank you.
I'm about to discuss the biography of President Ramon Magsaysay. President Ramon Magsaysay was the 7th President of the Republic of the Philippines, serving from 1907 until 1957. He is the first president from landless lower middle class. His popularity stemmed from his reputation as a clean, incorruptible, and reform-minded administrator. And also, Ramon Magsaysay linked civil relocation effort with his military operation as a part of his larger strategy to fight the Hawks. To persuade active Hawks to lay down their arms if they see the government progressive toward the land reform and private land ownership. It is hard to imagine how settlement of public lands could be included under the category of agrarian reform. But here are some laws that he made during his time during 1953 to 1957, and it will discussed by John Lloyd Piawan.